Hey everybody, you know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntax Live. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay. And it looks like we got our regular host of folks in today, which is freaking awesome. Actually, no, hold on. Let me put this in, which is awesome. You guys are freaking awesome for being here, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here either. Thank you so much. Now, let's start this thing off right.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Let's do nominal by popping the top. I can get that open because my hands are all sweaty. And let's get started. First things first, here's to everybody out there. Again, without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So let me grab my notes, which is pretty light today. But last time I said pretty light, we were on for like 2.5 hours. So let's see how it goes. Let me pull that off. Not in the way you're thinking. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. First things first. Yes, I did get a couple new videos. No, I didn't get any more images. So if you guys sent me images besides videos, I didn't get them. Pure and simple. I don't know what the hell's going on. Gmail is usually pretty good. So we'll get into the videos later. First thing first. Now, I was in such a rush. I didn't get any anything to throw up here. However, what I'm looking at is a $5 super chat from Douglas Scarborough. For some reason, I screwed his name up last time I did the shout outs, which sorry for that, Doug. I don't know why it was, but Scarborough. And he says, love the story, Sin. Keep it up. Well, hey, what are you worried about me keeping it up? Oh, we're talking about this. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, bad joke, guys. I am the king of bad jokes. I've always been the king of bad jokes. So anyways, thank you very much, Doug. Very much appreciated. And like I said, appreciate all you guys. I was in such a rush to get this done because I was in the middle of editing the next story that's supposed to go tonight. I was doing the sound effects and my computer freaked the fuck out. And I had to basically redo the entire thing. Fun stuff. I got to go through it again after we're done here, more than just the shout outs tonight. So I don't have the actual like stories we went over. I don't have the covers to throw up for you awesome people. So I'm sure you're sitting there saying, excuse me, you don't have it? Well, I'm just going to leave that one up because I think that's kind of funny. Let's see. Going to go over the stories for this week. Not too much as far as the extra comments went in. A lot of people talking about all the different, how do I put this? You guys were playing the game, and now I wish I grabbed that. Let's play the game, Find the Turd with a little dog there, so I could throw it up. Regardless, first one, The Only Way to Win. That one, there's a reason why I threw the halo up there, because just like the flood, the only way to win is to starve them out. And yes, a few of you were saying that it was kind of a weird story to go. Is different. I don't want to get stuck in a rut, guys. It's pure and simple. I just didn't want to get stuck in a rut. Now, there was apparently a reference to the Sword of Damocles. I don't even remember what line I used on that one. If I did, it was sheer by accident. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. You can throw it in the comment section here. And let's see. Aside from that, that one didn't go overall too much, so I'm just probably not going to extend that story ever. However, I am in the middle of still extending a story you guys heard earlier. Anyway, yeah. Hold on. Let me put my brain on straight here. All right. I was able to, the past week, like I said, you had some sort of special coming out last Wednesday, and that was Something Familiar. And I'm glad to see you guys are enjoying that one. It has taken me a very long time to write it just because time restraints. I'm about 5-6 pages in right now. And, oh, shit. I'm dropping stuff here. And I probably got another 5 or 6 to go. It may or may not come out this Sunday. I don't have an exact timeline. I can work on it when I can work on it. And I got to help my dad with everything. Okay, for some reason I'm getting a message here that says can't post comments some destinations. I don't know why that is. I think that's because the Twitter was only on for like 30 seconds. Next time I'm not even going to bother with X. It was weird. Oh, part where you mentioned the sword was hanging over your head. Okay, yeah. Okay. And yes, we do speak fluent drill sergeant, which I'm not going to go into here because some people listen on headphones and you would be sitting there going, what the hell was that? Trying to pull your headphones out. If I actually spoke drill sergeant, we don't yell, we project. And there's actually a big difference. If you yell for a long time, you will lose your voice. You project for a long time, you need a drink of water. All right. Now, as far as, again, something familiar, somebody brought up the whole thing about I'm pulling stuff from my life. Well, sorta. You got to remember that.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right. You guys are catching me up. You got Erica Gem, someone who is truly, truly outrageous. And the only reason I don't use the actual gem is because she sent me a whole bunch of pictures that I'm going to use. And she sent a $5 super sticker. And thank you very much. Appreciate it. No comment. But again, appreciate all you guys. And again, here's to you. And like it always says, you guys are bad motherfuckers. All right. The reason why the character is that way is you got to remember the guy just remembered not one, but two past lives and possibly a third one. Okay. They all jammed into his cranium and he's remembering stuff that is going to let you know, hey, this is what he was back in the day. Remember, he talked a lot about training. It's a little vague for story purposes, but I can get specific if you guys want. But just remember that's part of the character. And that's one of the reasons why it got so damn dark all of a sudden. Don't worry. It's not going to stay dark, but it's not going to be totally in the light either. Let's see. Somebody went in the comment section was talking about the game. Apparently there was confusion what the game is. By all means, if you guys see someone in the comment section who's like, what the hell? I straightened them out. But later on, if someone's like, what's this whole thing with the contest? By all means, explain it to them. The more comments you put in, the better off we are. And I'm sure a few of you guys would be typing in, hey, you dumbass, this is what we do here. But, you know, it is what it is. All right. A few jokes that came in there about the whole flying lightning rod. That was pretty good. About the Thunderbirds, which if you know your cryptid lore, that's where that comes from. Also, a flying microwave. I thought that was funny, guys. And a flying Tesla coil. I think that was like perfect on the spot. That was a bullseye right there, if there ever was one. Yeah, pretty much. And somebody was saying how the Knights turned out to be kind of weak. Kind of hard to be tough when somebody's chucking 1.21 gigawatts at your face. It's just, I don't care who you are. I see literally lightning ripping across the yard towards me. I'm running in the other direction faster than anyone's going to even realize. So anyway, let's see. Yes, somebody did bring up the whole thing, the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Yes, that was from Garth Brooks, Thunder Rolls. That's why I threw it in there. It's because you guys like the references. And every time I can use one, I'll use one. But I don't want to overuse them. That's then these stories turn into something else. All right, what I read oh yeah, there was a Back to the Future reference in there. I'm glad you guys caught it. And it literally was the 1.21 gigawatts. And I'm glad you guys have been friggin' awesome, okay? And how awesome? Well, you're that awesome. Hey, Brian's here. How you doing? Let's see. What else was on here? Let's see. The next one that came out was why you see humans everywhere. Actually, this was brought up because this is what I keep telling my nieces. If you learn to cook good food, you can go anywhere the hell you want. And there wasn't really much in the comment section on that one. So consider that one just a one-off and it's not going to be added on to. Now, the one that's still going, hospitality. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. If you guys haven't actually seen or listened to the latest one that came out yesterday, or I should say this morning, dropped at midnight. Yes, there was the, you got to bring more power. Oh, yes, it was more power. Yeah. And yeah, believe it or not, that one, as I was going in outline format, and that one just kind of, it just came out, guys. It just came out. And apparently it hit the nail on the head. You guys enjoyed it. So let me know if they work. If the jokes don't work, guys, you got to let me know. I don't want to make stories where you're just cringing like crazy. If I want to show you something that cringes like crazy, I'll go out and ask a college student what's the third rock from the sun and watch them squirm. I'm not even joking. Some guy did that. It's one of 3 questions he asked people. And I'm just like, It was painful. It was absolutely painful. However, I do have to use this for later. I'm not using it tonight. Hold on. But when somebody says, don't step on the toes, because that's the nickname of that species for hospitality, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I didn't even think about that. And the only reason I use toes is because I didn't want to use knuckles when they look like moose, and then it puts together moose knuckles. Do you see the issue with that one? It might be too Johnny on the spot. Oh, geez. But yes, I did think about doing that, and you should, if I had my notes here for it, you'd see this huge scratch mark on that where I'm just like, nope, 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 nope. And I wrote it like 3 times. Nope, nope, nope. I almost cut right through the paper. I was like, can't do it. Would have been funny, but no. All right. Believe it or not, that's the end of the notes as far as the channel is gone. Very short, very to the point. And because of that, I'm going to throw this up there. Oh, what the hell? Okay, for some reason that didn't save with any sound. I don't know why. I just got them saved maybe an hour ago. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I got another one here, but I'll save that for later. All right. On to the current comments, or not comments, sorry. On to what's going on as far as pop culture and anything else you guys want to talk about. Bring it up into the comment section. Let me pull the comment section. Oh, what?
What? What the fuck?
Yeah, what the hell's going on? As soon as I start playing stuff, I come back and I see not 1, but 2. Count them, 2. $10 super chats. One from MTF Guard. Let me write this down. And the other one from Brian Kemp. Our big bike riding buddy. I don't know what is, I can't think of anything off the cuff besides that. And Guard says, weekly paycheck and great news for me. I was able to get my old Xbox 360 game, Left 4 Dead 2, installed on my Xbox One. Oh, that's pretty good. Now you can actually play it with a little bit better graphics and stuff like that, I think. Hopefully, it's not going to be one of those situations where Xbox can sit there and say, we just don't want you to play, so Control-Alt-Delete you and all this shit. But yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah. Awesome. And then Brian down here, he says, greetings, everybody. It's my Friday. Cheers. Cheers. Enjoyed the stories. I'm glad you do. I'm grateful you do. And I hope all you guys do. And for the love of all that is holy, please, please, please tell me when I fuck up, because I can't fix it if you guys don't tell me where I fuck up. Okay. Somebody actually put in that I'm delaying a lot when I do things more off the cuff than actually writing the whole thing out. Yes, that's an issue. I know that's an issue, and I'm trying to fix it, but I'm glad you brought it up so I can fix it. And below here under Brian, hold on. I see a $5 super chat from a demon. Hold on. Let me do this right.
A demon.
And he just sends a $5 super sticker. And let me write you down, Demon. Thank you very much. Along with Brian and Guard. And, of course, Erica and Doug. They've been in here as well. And there we go. Let's see. All right. Before I go too far off in the weeds, here's some of the news that's been coming in this week. First off, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the Fantastic Four, even though it initially got good reviews, come to find out those reviews are not enough to save it. It is spiraling down, and it's right into the freaking toilet. Apparently, it's not even going to break even. And we got another $2 super chat from Erica. She's truly outrageous, and she's so outrageous it makes you want to go. Boy, that's low. I thought that was louder.
Swing.
Okay, there we go. Says she says, hope your nephew is doing better and thank you. I'm trying to push him in the right direction. I don't want to talk about his personal stuff, but he's working on it. That's all I can say is he's working on it. Just like everybody else's private life, it's meant to be private. If somebody tells you something, it's supposed to be in confidence. You don't want to put too much out, and I've already pretty much put too much out already. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't, but I do appreciate the concern, and I'll pass it on, Erica. I very much will. And thank you all again for sending in your super chats. Okay, back down to the notes here. Fantastic Four is beyond screwed. I mean, they are taking it right into pooper on this one. They're losing out so big. They're everything they have. It's not just superhero fatigue. It's the fact that they're trying to push a lot of these actors, the same actors from everything, into different roles. They're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. after Iron Man to play Doom. I'm like, guys, stop. Let the man retire. Okay, he did such a great job. Why tarnish the legacy? Why? I mean, send him on to anything else except just keep him away from the superhero stuff for a while. Let the man do something else. He's a gifted actor. Let the man go. It's like Robin Williams. He kept getting typecast in all these comedy roles, but he was also an amazing actor. I don't know crazy. But it seems like Marvel is pretty much just donezo. They're hemorrhaging. Now, to put this into perspective, because a lot of people are probably thinking, wait a minute, they spent, I think it was $500 million and they made $600 million, so they should be good, right? Wrong. You have to literally make twice what it costs to make the movie, because that's how much money they're most likely spending in advertising. So if you don't double it, so basically that movie had to make pretty much $1 billion, which is almost impossible in the movies nowadays. The last one to do that, I think, was Avatar. The only reason I went to watch it is because they said the cinematography and the special effects were great. They were. The movie was dog shit. The premise was just terrible. And the acting was horrific. But the visuals were amazing. And James Cameron doesn't know anything but visuals. That is what he's good at. He should be an assistant director or some sort of producer or something, not an actual director. Because when he makes these movies, they suck like a black hole. Oh, wait, black holes don't actually exist, but whatever. Like a vacuum cleaner that James Cameron got his dick stuck in. Anyways, all right, that's enough on the Marvel stuff for right now. Now, here's a little thing that came up, and this was originally science fiction, is now science fact. It makes you wonder what the hell's going on. It's going to make you do another one of these excuse me's like, this ain't real. All right, come to find out, the smart dust that they've been working on, they actually got to work. It's all nanomachines, and I was actually watching, and they actually gave the frequency. If you're listening, you can write this down. Okay, I'm not good at these, and I don't have the equipment to do it, but it's 802.15.6. Now, you can do that last one from 6, use 4 or 5 as well, but it's normally 0.6. So 802.15.6. That's the frequency that those things operate on, which means since we know what frequency, if you have an actual frequency modulator, then you can actually match that frequency and you can fry this stuff, which is one thing they don't want you to know. Now, you can also do it with an EMP. However, shooting one of those through your systems might not be a good idea, considering the two things that are electrical in your body, your brain and your heart. Maybe not a good idea to try and short circuit yourself. I mean, we all want to be Johnny Five at one point growing up, but that's the only short circuit I'm interested in. Besides, I'm so screwed up in my brain, I'm already short circuited. It's a little warm in here. I'm thirsty. Anyway, aside from the smart dust, they're also talking about cyberjacking people. It has a completely different name. I've heard CNI, cranial neural implant, and all this other stuff. They're wanting to use nanomachines now. This is something when I was a kid was science fiction in cartoons, and now it's being science fact. I am starting to wonder either A, they wanted to tell us the truth before it came out, or B, they're using the collective consciousness to try and push fate in a certain direction. Either way, it's going to happen. What worries me is the fact that for them to get it to completely work, they're not just inside your brain, they're down your entire central nervous system, which is your spine included, all the way down your back. And honestly, I don't need nanomachines shoved up my ass. No, thank you. It's like they said in, what was it? Not that Top Gun ripoff. What was it? God damn it. I can't. Hot Shots. It's like, no matter what, no man's going to take that trip with me. Ain't going to happen.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right, because we got a $10 super chat from Guardian Sage. And he's coming in with the... Oh, hold on, let me get the right one.
Greetings, mortals and other assorted beings. My apologies for being late, but I was catching up on Syntax videos. I really enjoy humanity kicking Pikachu's ass.
Or hold on. Yes, you're the first one to actually catch that, Guardian. Yes, even though I pronounced it the Paw-Chew, yes, it was based on the electric rat from Pokemon. And seriously, if you're taking that personal, it's not meant to be personal. It's meant to be a joke. And yes, they not only kicked Pikachu's ass, but every time they tried to get away from a space battle, they got a human missile up their keister, right in the aft section. And you know what? It blew it apart. So it's like a couple of ass cheeks wide open waiting. So, some people would think, well, that's just rude. But you know what? They shot first. Well, I should say they shocked first. Ooh, it's shocking. What a shocking experience. And yes, thank you, Guardian, for you. Number one, you got it. You got it. Number one. Okay. Congratulations on that one. All right. Oh, wow. Excuse me, guys. For some reason, the soda's jumping up on me a little more than I want to. All right. Now, here's the fun thing about the whole cyberjack portion. For you to be in complete immersive anything, I mean, it's the Oculus is good, but all it gives you is part of your visuals and most of your audio, which is not bad. However, if they can cyberjack your entire central nervous system, they can fool your body into believing that you have actual touch, you have smell, you have the look of it, the taste of it, the smell of it. You know, all that. It's gonna really change things. However, I have no freaking intention on having that many machines plugged into my system. It's bad enough, Lord knows what's swimming around in my meat suit right now. I'd rather just clean out the meat suit and call it good. Of course, they have the technology about making you younger. We were talking about that last week, and it's now in the public eye. They can't put a lid on something that's boiling. Now, I do expect several of the celebrities and whatnot, especially the, I hate to say it this way, but post-wall women who are celebrities, when they all of a sudden start looking a lot younger and they start looking like they're in their prime, and they start doing a Sweeney commercial saying, I got good genes, then everybody's going to say, okay, what's up with this? And that's when it's finally going to come into the public eye. And I'm looking forward to that. I actually am. It's going to take a couple of years before we see the effects. Oh, hold on, let me see. But I am looking forward to the effects. Okay, I don't know if you guys seen this one. You know, I'm going to remove this right now because I want to be full screen for this. What in the fuck is going on with Spartacus? The new Spartacus coming out. This is supposed to be Spartacus about gladiators, okay? And pretty much all they do is fight and fuck and fight. They might as well be Dornish from Game of Thrones because that's all they freaking do in that show. You want to see blood? Sure. 5 minutes later, you're looking at blood-covered bodies like hate humping each other. It's crazy. But now they have a very tall, very skinny girl boss in there acting like she's going to go toe-to-toe with guys who are 6'4", 300 pounds of just nothing but muscle. I'm sorry, one even glancing blow from their shield arm, not their friggin' axe hand, but the shield. Actually, a shield hit is actually far more destructive than people give it credit for. It is absolutely devastating. One of those, and she's going to snap like a fucking toothpick. It is absolutely crazy. All right. It blows my mind. But the thing is, diversity hire. And I hate that I say that. That I can say that. I hate it. I hate it with a fucking passion. I wish we didn't even have the phrase. But you know what it is? Because not only is she of a different ethnicity, but the actor was specific. They even said specifically chosen because she likes to dive in the, yeah. Need I say more? Just look at the screen and that's her meal of choice. The fuck, over. But I can't do anything about it. The only thing we can do is not watch it. It's that simple. But still, it pains me. It really does when the show was just starting to get good, and now I'm sitting there going, what am I watching? I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch a lot of things because either the actor wouldn't shut up, told their political opinion, and now I don't like the person, which is why I can't watch the new Naked Gun movie. I wanted to. And now every time I see a preview, I'm sitting there stone face. I'm like, this should be funny. It's not funny. I mean, maybe I got to go into the movie theater, blitzed off my ass, smoking a blunt or something, then maybe it'd be funny. But first off, I don't drink when I'm going to drive. You know that from the safety brief. And two, I can't stand the smell of marijuana. Seriously, even in the brownies, I can smell it and it smells like deep fried dog shit. It's just horrible. So anyways, let me just throw that up there. Hold on. But it's terrible. Oh yeah, the title is Her Time Has Come. I'm like, you misspelled that. It's not COME, it's CUM, because that's pretty much what it's about. I mean, it's bad enough that even online, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there is a former Army specialist. She got busted using her uniform as a prop on a certain fans site that is only for certain people. It's a pay to watch site, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Everyone's like, how in the hell can you get dropped from E4 to E3? Yeah, so that's a field grade Article 15. That's a big deal. And shocker, she dropped 3 ranks in one go. I've seen somebody drop 4 ranks in one go. It's just, people don't realize it's got to be really fucking serious, but it can be done. They can actually, at one point with a field grade Article 15, there are provisions in there to strip a soldier, officer included, of their entire rank and bust them down to E nothing. And it's, I mean, how bad you got to screw up? And she still said, but I'm still making my money. I'm still making my bag. I'm like, shut up. Oi. It's horrendous, really. But it falls under the same category. It's just, if I want to see somebody in that perspective, how about I watch Spartacus? So 5 minutes later, after they're done screwing, they're out beating somebody's skull in with an axe. You know, at least that's more entertaining. Eesh. Speaking of entertainment, guys, I do have to bring this up. I'm sure you guys have all heard about this. And this is where we are all taking it right in the backside. They have already done this in the UK. It has passed in the UK. Whether it's gonna hold or not, I don't know. But now they're saying to get on any site that may have any type of controversial opinions or suggestive content or may be misinformation, which is such a broad term. It's sickening, really. It's fucking sickening that now you need to get your ID, your actual the real ID. Oh, God, they can kiss my ass with that. Plus, like 2 or 3 other forms of identification. Plus, you need to do a biometric scan of your face and your fingerprints. So, and I think they said iris scan too. I'm like, are you shitting me? So I can watch Tim Pool or something or Joe Rogan. I got to go through all this? Fuck you. Oh, they just, yeah. And the thing is, pretty soon, the only thing you're going to be able to see on this platform is nothing but CNN, MSNBC, or something like that. Without that, you need multi-authentication. I'm going to tell you guys straight up, if they try to pull that bullshit, this channel, I will end up doing only one more video, and the whole thing is going to be loaded with links to other channels, Rumble, maybe not Spotify, but I'll try to get on locals. I tried that before, and it was a total disaster. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong, but I will end up on another channel, so you guys will still have it. I will still keep going, but if YouTube wants to play this game where they say we set the rules and we choose when you lose, not if, but when you lose, yeah, find the darkest part of my ass and kiss it repeatedly. And I'm sure you guys are thinking the same thing. It irritates me so much because freedom of speech used to be a thing. Unfortunately, I could say some words on here that would get us kicked off quick, and they're words we use in regular life. One of them ends with an X, starts with an S, and somewhere in the middle has an E in it. Why don't you use that? Because guess what? Shocker, it has a specific meaning. That's why. They want it all to be ambiguous. Oh, God. It just... Yeah, you're right, Demon. People have been trying to warn everybody about it. It's been out there online. The thing is, a lot of people that need to see it are actually watching television. And they have no idea. They have absolutely no idea. The people that used to control information on TV are pissed they can no longer control the information on the interwebs, so they're trying to hold down the interwebs. And it's getting absolutely crazy. And to answer your question, Erica, pretty fucking stupid. But anyways, this whole censorship bullshit is going to be enough where eventually people are just going to, and I'm going to say this before I go off in the weeds. If you think it'll be fine, I have a VPN. They have put in these bills that you are not allowed by law to use a VPN. If you do use one, you have to send that VPN, all its numbers to include its passcodes, to the server you're trying to use so they can verify it's you. It's to protect the children's. We need to protect the children so much. We need to go fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry I'm getting spun up, guys, but God, yeah, Demon, exactly, yeah. You said it just about the time I said it, it just makes me say, excuse me, what the fuck are they doing? Hold on, I need a break. Whew. Maybe I should have brought a beer instead of a birch beer. Then again, we're out of beer. I gotta go get some. Also helps with the slugs, but we'll deal with that later. Just be aware of it, guys. If it comes down to it and YouTube and all them start limiting access to everybody because they want you to only be listening to what they tell you you should be listening to, be ready for a huge backlash. And I would not be surprised at all if somebody goes into one of these server farms and starts running a very, very powerful magnet down all their systems. That person will go to jail for 20 years and they do it with a smile on their face. Because it just, and the thing is, you have no idea how protected those sites are. It's absolutely kind of freakish. I've seen banks that have multiple tens of millions of dollars and they don't have that type of security. Anyway, it's getting bad. It's just, hold on. Alan, what do you mean sounds like? It was shredded several administrations ago. They wiped their ass with it. As soon as they said there are certain words you can't say even online, the First Amendment was pretty much eviscerated. All right. I'm going to downshift here, guys. I need to change it. So, I mean, by all means, let the comments flow because we're going to go into them. I'm just kind of letting them flick by. I know you guys know about this. This is the 0 point energy, where even if you look at my hand here, hold on, let me do this. If you look at my hand, is anything in my hand? It doesn't look like there's anything in my hand. However, there's always a certain flux. Everything has to be in motion, even though we cannot perceive it. We cannot see it. There's some sort of motion in there. And because of that motion, there's energy. Something the size of this freaking bottle, if it's empty, would have enough energy in it to evaporate all the world's oceans. That's according to the math. And just, it's crazy that much power is there. But now the 0 point energy is starting to actually come out. Actually, the more quote unquote legitimate sites are starting to talk about it more. And I say good. We've had it, we've known about it since the mid 1940s. Because actually atomic energy was not just what they were working on. They were working on 0 point energy, but they couldn't figure out how to harness it. The technology wasn't there. The technology has been here since roughly the mid 50s, 1950s. And sorry, I had something in my teeth. But yeah, now it's coming out to the public. Now, before anybody starts either freaking out or jumping for joy, understand this. From the 1946, when they dropped the atomic bomb, it took about 20 to 25 years before the first nuclear power plant even opened. That's how long it would take from them finally admitting 0 point energy is clean, 100% clean. You don't need cooling towers. You don't need a reactor. You don't need uranium. You don't need plutonium. You don't need any of the uniums, like unobtainium or anything. It will take at least that long before the first one's actually built and up and running, regardless of how fast they want to make it, because they're going to want to drag it out for as long as possible. That being said, as soon as that comes to light and that's built and they show that it works, you're going to see a lot of the nuclear plants being shut down slowly and the coal plant shut down slowly as the 0 point energy plants come in. It's just the way it is. It's just better. It is 100% better. And what happens, and I've looked into how these things are made. The actual casing where they get the energy from, you know what happens if you crack it, if you blow it up, if you break it in any sort of way? It literally does nothing. There's no meltdown. There's no radiation. There's no nothing. It literally just pops a little bit if there's a crack because it's letting the pressure inside go. And that's it. It's unbelievably safe. So, all right, there's on that one. I see everybody still talking about the whole YouTube thing. And yeah, because it's the biggest game in town. I wouldn't be on YouTube if it wasn't the biggest game in town. I was on Rumble for a while, but I've been so busy, I haven't been able to upload everything, which I should. Last time I uploaded a bunch, my channel got demonetized for about a week because they said, "Oh no, you did this and you did that, and you did something that we didn't like." Blow me. A kiss while I'm asleep, you know. All right, on to the next subject. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but they're finally saying there's an alien mothership coming our way. It has come into our solar system and should be here by, I believe they said, late November. And all I can say is, really, Project Bluebeam, anybody? Because that is actually within the first part of Project Bluebeam, is to see a ship months in advance and get the public all worked up about this so they can get, use their problem reaction solution. And it's just if you're trying to do a sneaky plan, maybe don't publish everything. Then again, we do have a shit ton of whistleblowers, and I'm just like, wow, how much more obvious can you be? And here's the thing: originally it was supposed to come straight to Earth. Oh no, now it might bypass us, and it might strafe by Mars, and Venus is going to get a reach around as it whips, and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, what the hell? I just they're trying too hard. And these people who have done this for so long are forgetting the simple thing. Times have changed. We're in the information age. I'm on now. I'm online live with you guys. You awesome, you absolutely beautiful, awesome people that I'm sure you'd like to be out playing laser tag and still being the awesome motherfuckers that you are. They don't realize that, again, times have changed. The information is out there. It's just like a certain politician. I won't mention who she might be, but she might have ran for president. She might have said, "Oh, I was on the tarmac and I had to have my head down as everybody was covering me and we were dodging sniper bullets the whole way in." And right behind that, people would show video of her. Yeah, she walked off the tarmac. There's little kids clapping and handing her flowers, and she's out there for 30 minutes just waving and saying hi and shit like that. I'm just like, ha 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 ha. It's like, hello, welcome to the information age, you boomer motherfucker. And I hate to say it that way, but it is. There's always a generational issue. You get too used to a certain technology, which is going back to what we were talking about with this whole being cyberjacked. The younger generation might be all for it. I'll see what happens to them. See if they turn into more NPC-ish motherfuckers. $31 Atlas, yeah, it's a rock. It's not a ship. That's my point. It's not a ship. It's a rock. Is it going to hit the planet? I doubt it. But we'll see. All right. All right. There's a good reason. Even if I could find a picture for this, I wouldn't throw it up because you guys don't need to run for eye bleach. There is a musical out there, a very weird musical stage show for, I don't know, people who think being disrespectful is some sort of flex. It's what was it? Jesus Superstar or Superstar Jesus or something like that. I'm like, I don't think Yeshua is going to be too happy about this, especially since now the one playing him is the same woman who played the Wicked Witch in Wicked, the movie. Have they seen this skeleton on legs? I mean, this doesn't work. They've had several people quit because they're just like, okay, we were pushing the envelope, but this is fucking retarded. I know you're not supposed to say that R word, but I don't even care anymore. I don't care. If the stream drops, the stream drops at this point. They can, lick something of mine. Because that's just bad. That's just dumb. That's just, what is wrong with them? I mean, seriously, what is seriously wrong with them? I mean, they're just being rude. Just like shoving their butt in your face just to do it. And I'm just like, whatever. You want to try to push the envelope to the point where everything explodes? So be it. I would rather just watch Avenue Q and get it over with, which, by the way, was hilarious. I went and watched a show of that. I damn near pissed myself. I was laughing so hard. I seen a couple guys, full-grown men, actually get up. One guy grabbing his junk so hard, I thought he was going to rip it off, trying desperately not to pee his pants. He was laughing that hard. And there was a couple women, no kidding. I kind of felt bad for them. They didn't quite make it to the bathroom. They came back and you could see the back of their, well, one of them was pants. The other one was skirt. It was a little wet spot on the back. They laughed so hard they peed a little bit. That was fucking funny. The internet is for porn. The internet, you guys know it. And that was, it pushed the envelope, but it didn't try to be complete assholes in the process. Pure and simple. All right, that's enough of that. Last thing I got down here is the Trek Academy. I don't know if you guys remember. We talked about it a little bit last week. I found out that it is going to be finishing up not one, but 2 seasons. Okay. Originally, I heard that it was only 1 season. However, from the time of its cancellation, they are almost done filming the 2nd season. So Netflix is going to be running 2 seasons of that god-awful, holy shit, this is garbage. Wow. What the hell were they thinking? That's all I got for them. What the hell are they thinking? It is so bad. It is so unbelievable. I'm not even a huge Trek fan. And even I look at it going, what the fuck are they thinking? Oh, jeez. It's absolutely horrific. Now, the weird thing is, and I just got to put this out because you guys are going to see a lot more of this in my writing because, unfortunately, because I do hard science fiction, it's just the way things go. The fact of the matter is, once we get the 0-point energy and we get it in things that are small, like, I don't have anything within reach that's not connected to a wire right now to show you, but something about the size of a shoebox, and it can run your house or run your apartment building or what have you. It's going to charge your phone and all that. Once we have that and the molecular assembler, it's going to change things immensely, just absolutely immensely, to the point where we would have a Trek type culture. However, I have a very strong suspicion that there are going to be certain groups in this world that are going to take that technology and say, only I should use this, or it's against my whatever, my city, my state, my culture, my religion, you name it. And they're going to try and use the same technology to kill a lot of people. There's going to be some issues. There's always going to be some issues with new technology coming out. Pure and simple. Just like a lot of people are about to lose their jobs to AI, it is what it is. You can either work with technology or you can let it destroy you. The old ballad of John Henry comes to mind. The thing is, John Henry, that was based off a real guy. That, no kidding, it was called a steam drill. It was meant to drill railroad spikes in. That's its entire job. Did he win against it? Yes. However, that day, as soon as he crossed the finish line, he sat down because he was exhausted, and shocker, his fucking heart gave out. And he was the absolute best they had. The steam drill only needed more coal for it, and it would just keep going. And just like the tractor, even without the Civil War in this country, slavery was on its way out because all slaves were at that point was very expensive farm equipment. If you can do the same amount of work a lot faster and a lot cheaper, why in the front flipping fuckle knuckles would you keep additional people around? It doesn't make sense. And I know some people were probably pissed off because I came up on that subject. You know, it's a black eye on everybody in this country. It is what it is, no pun intended. And just be grateful we didn't do things the way they did if people from Africa was taken the other way as far as towards the Middle East. Because you know what they did to the guys they sold there? One word. Well, no, that's not the word. Sorry. The one word is unsullied. They snipped them. And I'm talking all of it. Gone. Is usually about anywhere from 50 to 70% mortality rate, by the way, because most of them just bled out. It's a lot of guys listening just got very uncomfortable. So let me see if this one got the sound as well. I guess not. I have no idea why those don't have sound, guys. I'm going to have to actually pull all the clips off later and redo every single one of them. And I'm going to have to go into my stuff and check them one by one. So let me just scroll up here to about the time right there with Guardian talking about how I kicked Pikachu's ass. And Lena's saying how they hope Fantastic Four gets a good Victor Von Doom. I think Iron Man there is going to do a really good job. It's just going to be impossible for us to look and think, oh, that's Victor Von Doom, without thinking, no, that's Iron Man. I think he's a good enough actor where he could actually do it right. I really do. All right, right here we got Demon says, yeah, they finally learned to not drop that stuff in episode 1 and wait a few, otherwise the views plummet right away, rather than when that cap shows up. When the crap, okay, I don't know which one you're talking about here. Okay, again, context. I'm not scrolling all the way to the top, guys, because most of the first like 30 or 40 things there is just everybody saying hi. Guardian says, yeah, weed stinks worse than tobacco, and I don't like that either. Yeah. And the kicker is, I miss a good cigar. Emphasis on good. Okay? I enjoyed a good cigar. Especially since the fact that, no joke, less than 30 minutes, let me see, that's east, so that way, there are the tobacco farms. I could go there and get a no shit, just got dried, just got rolled tobacco, pure, 100% pure tobacco cigar. I don't do it because of the health problems, but I miss a good cigar. Okay, it's just the way it is. And my dad used to smoke cigarettes, you know, back in the day. He says he missed smoke cigarettes. I can understand that. But do we smoke? Nope. And I've been in people's houses that do smoke, and no shit, it's like somebody kicked you right in the nose. But let's just say if you got a girlfriend or, you know, and their roommate smoke or something, you can give it a pass, at least for a while. You won't stick around, though. Let's see. Lena says, I never watched the new Spartacus. Hold on. But I get it. People want to watch girl failures. There are entire compilation videos of women who think they can go toe to toe, especially with trained men. I feel look, I'm so out of practice. If I don't have headgear and a mouth guard, I'm not going against these motherfuckers. They're going to have me for dinner. Okay. It's just that simple. Is it something that's a lot of it's going to come back to me? Sure. Am I going to be fluid? Probably not. You know, it's like that's the scenes they did on Cobra Kai. You know, the very first episode, when everything just came back to Johnny Lawrence, even though it hurt him to do the kicks because he wasn't used to it. Or when they did the bar fight and the guy like all of a sudden did the block and strike and he's like, oh shit, that came back. He's like, yeah, it does. It will never ever leave you, never ever leave. Which is actually a good thing. I recommend everybody, and I mean every single person, man, woman, boy, or girl, does not matter. Learn a fighting style. I don't care if it's boxing. I don't care if it's jujitsu. Whatever it might be, find an actual fighting style that works for you, something you can defend yourself with. Because if people don't know that you know something, they're less likely to do something really, really stupid. Douglas says, I like the old version of Spartacus, starring Kirk Douglas and Ernest Borgnine. I am Spartacus. And that's a long time ago. Ernest Borgnine, I think he's been gone for a while now. Let's see. Demon says they have two bills in the House that are very similar to what's in England right now. Been trying to warn people. I think I read this earlier. Yeah, they're trying to push them like crazy. And the kicker is this site in particular, YouTube itself, without outside funds to keep it up and running, if they pass this bullshit, this site will fail. It will fall. And this is a multi-billion-dollar industry right now. What we are on right now. It, again, billion, not an M, a B, multi-billion. If they fuck this up, they are shooting themselves in the dick so hard. And I don't know how they can do it because, honestly, I don't even think a Russian sharpshooter could hit a target that small. But they're going to do it anyway. So what can you do? Tell them to screw themselves. Actually, that's the best we can do. Vote with your wallet and with your feet. That's all you can really do. And it's no wonder that a lot of single guys have said, fuck it, and decided to start living on houseboats. Because that's the one area where they can't tax you into oblivion. Even though you have to be very, very careful on how much you bring aboard. It's like Johnny Depp said in his Pirates of the Caribbean. What is a ship? It's not a keel and a sail and all that. That's what a ship needs. A ship is freedom. If you want to, you just pick up anchor and take the fuck off. You don't have to worry about it. So, and they're trying to get a crunch on that too. Okay. Guardian says, that's just a ridiculous amount of security. You should need only 1 or 2 forms of verification, not 6. Yeah, but the thing is, they also want very specific forms of identification. The real ID has fuck all to do with security. It has nothing to do with it at all. It is just another form of control. I can do the exact same thing with the real ID as my passport. And if I go to travel and they say you can only fly with a real ID, I guess I'm not flying. But here's the thing. If you go to Agenda 2030, they actually said by 2030, they want to make air travel so inconvenient for everybody that all the airlines are basically shut down. The only planes in the air are military and super rich. And you know what I say? They start doing that, and somebody's going to sit outside the tarmac with a Barrett 50 cal, and they're going to start popping jet engines, those private aircraft. And when that happens, then they'll start to pay attention. At first, they're just going to put security out there, but security, after being assaulted a few times, is going to say, fuck all that noise. And they're going to get tired of being late for all their climate meetings, even though they're flying in private jets, which is the most fuel inefficient way of going. Which, again, the hypocrisy of these people is just staggering. But unfortunately, I don't want it to come to that. I really don't. I would rather it go back to the time where we would see Robin Leach and the lifestyles of the rich and famous, where, as one guy said, the rich were like the balloon of a hot air balloon. It was pulling everybody up and everybody was getting a better style. Now it's like the balloon wants to cut away all the straps and we all plummet. No, because then you go too close to the sun, man. You got to remember your proverbs. Don't ever fly too close to the sun. All right. Erica's here, says, how dumb you have to be to use a real military uniform to do your fans of only. Pretty goddamn stupid. That's all I can say. That was just born stupidity. And I guarantee if she watches this, I guarantee she's going to try and make it a race thing. And I say, bite me. And that's coming from a drill sergeant. If she was one of mine, I'd be smoking the shit out of her every fucking day for over an hour. And the moment she got up and says, I don't want to do this, I'd have her ass on doing paperwork that says failure to follow lawful order. 3 or 4 of those, I'd have her up again where she'd have to be in front of the commander, failure to follow lawful order. Yeah, she's going to get drummed out of the service, but she's going to get a dishonorable discharge as well. Aside from her only screw ups here, her life is over. At that point, any decent NCO is just going to lambaste that friggin' bitch because she's talking all sorts of crap about even her own unit. I'm like, you don't do that unless they absolutely positively deserve it. And the way she's talking, they don't. Lena says, oh yeah, YouTube wants to determine your age with an AI. Wow. The thing is, because of the way my face structure is, I've actually had AI try to guess my age when I'm fully shaved and everything, especially if I lose an extra 10 pounds off what I got now. And it puts me somewhere in the mid to high 20s. When I was in my mid to high 20s, it would have guessed that I was like 14. Every guy in my family looks young. That's just a genetic thing. Maybe I should be on a American Genes commercial or whatever saying, look at me, I got good genes. Actually, I got decent genes. Honestly, I don't even wear jeans anymore. I can't get any jeans to fit over my fat ass. But anyways, yeah, the AI is going to try and determine all this stuff, whether you're lying or whatever. And the AI can be programmed to do whatever the hell they want. If anybody doesn't believe that, all they have to do is go back about a year when Google decided to put ChatGPT in charge of all the searches. And they said, show me a picture of George Washington. Unless that's supposed to be George Washington Carver, you're not right here. And George Washington Carver did not cross the Delaware. You know, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. And yep, there's the one I picked up on Demon. They're also looking at banning virtual private networks, VPNs. A standard for your security on your computer, your anti-spam and all that, your virus search, comes with a VPN, which means if they pass this, everybody must go out and purchase a new virus scan from Norton or whoever it might be. And yeah, that's just absolutely nuts. Because they actually are going to force you to buy a different product. Legally, you can't do that, but they do it all the time. They do it to the guys in the Army, and actually every branch of the military, all the fucking time. But that's a whole nother conversation. And Alan's here saying, sounds like the Constitution has vanished in the past 30 years. Yep. If you cannot say certain words, you do not have freedom of speech. Pure and simple. 100% pure and simple. If they couldn't use the law, they used social media or the, what do they call that? The court of public opinion to lambaste you. So there went the first. The only reason they haven't got the second is because we will fight back on that. And the whole thing about common sense gun laws, there's no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. Now, if they want a limit on explosives, we can talk on that. But hold on. But the moment you put a restriction on any weapons to include anything from the ATF, you have just made it illegal. It is against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights because the Second Amendment is an amendment to the Constitution, meaning an addition to the Constitution, meaning it's part of it, which means it's illegal, at least on this side of the world. And yeah, there's a reason why you can have my weapons when you're prying from my cold, dead hands, or I'll give them to you bullets first. Let's not get to that point. I've been through that before. I'm done. But yeah, illegal search and seizure. The only reason that's not still going on is the fact that everybody's got a camera. Seriously, You can actually see a lot of court cases, a lot of things that the SWAT team is doing are getting thrown out because the first thing they do when they come around the house, they start ripping the cameras off. They start ripping the door, the ring camera off. That's destruction of evidence, which means you could say in court whatever in the hell you want. And they say, well, that didn't happen. Well, I could prove that it didn't happen if you didn't destroy the cameras, you dumbass. And it's just, welcome to the new age. It is what it is. I can't stop it. I can just work with it. Okay. Demon says they claim to protect the children online while actively not doing anything for children, just trying to create a police state. That is 100% true. And if what I heard about the new law they're trying to push in Communist-fornia is true, wow. Just freaking wow. The new law, if it comes into fruition, states, and I'm paraphrasing here, anybody could go up to a school, claim they are a child's legal guardian, and the child will be forced by the school to go with that person. Let that one stew for a moment. Any random anybody convicted anything could walk up, say, I am such and such guardian, and the school will basically throw the child at them and say, here. If you just went, what the fuck? Yeah, so did I. I actually listened to people explain it like 4 times and my brain melted. I was just like, ah, ha, ha, ha. So much for protecting kids. I mean, seriously, something happens to my nieces or nephews. The cops better have me in handcuffs really fucking fast. Because I'll go full Marv from Sin City. The old days, the bad days, the all or nothing days, they're back. And I'll be ready for war. Let's see. Hold on. It's okay. There we go. Lena said, I don't know people already use VPNs legally. It's in every school or university. Yeah, people. Hell, I have a VPN on this computer now. I have to turn it off to do this, but the VPN is on there. It's delayed right now. It will come back on at midnight tonight, but it's there. It's basically almost hardwired in, and how they're going to pull those off, I don't know what the fuck. But yeah, it's in every school and every university. Why? Because that's the only way to get the information you can. It's bad enough if, say, I wanted to watch an anime, I have to turn on the VPN and set it to like Japan or something for me to actually watch something that's translated in English. Not that I have any time to watch anime, which kind of sucks because I hear there's some good ones that came out. Then again, I'm sure there's some shit ones. Anyway, Douglas says it will get far worse coming up. It's looking to be very Orwellian in the near future. Yeah. When he wrote 1984, that was meant to be a warning, not a play-by-play step on how to screw the world over. I'm like, what? I got nothing else on that. Let's see. Guardian says, yeah, I'd finally go to a different website for my free videos. And well, I got to pause there. Just remember this. Nothing online is free. If it's free, you're the product. Pure and simple. If they're advertising to you or anything like that, you're the product. And why do you think there's so many ads you have to skip? Just like all the ads they don't pay me for. Okay, yeah, finally go for my free videos if they get that ridiculous. I'm stubborn, but I'm not that stubborn. Yeah. Picking your battles. Better than picking your nose. Or picking your ass. Okay. Demon says, Rumble is trying to fight against it for now. Good, absolutely good. Good. Yes. Yay! And I find the Rumble to be a little bit harder to use than YouTube. It's not as user-friendly. At least for me. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not on it much. Maybe just to drop a video or two, and that's it. Let's see. Lena says, they're never going to admit that the portable fusion nuclear plants are better. Yeah. Or fission plants. Sorry, not fusion. And those are, if you're not up on it, guys, fission and fusion are literally opposites. But yeah. Now, the weird thing is, you can take rods from a fission plant when they're exhausted, bring them over to a fusion plant, basically recharge them, and bring them back and forth until they're so worn the hell out that they're so degraded that there's almost no radiation coming off them at all. Instead of, I think it's like 500 years before the radiation level drops down to safe to actually handle it, you're talking 50 years at most. But they won't do that because, well, reasons, I guess. Let's see. Demon says, if it's a ship, can it turn? Probably talking about that big rock coming through. Like, how do they know where it's going to be if it's a ship? That's a good question. That's a very good question. And that's one I'd like to ask them. How do you know it's a ship? They had another cigar-shaped, honestly, I wouldn't even say cigar-shaped. It looked like a roach. It looked like a doobie. It also looked like a giant rock doobie, as in a turd, floating through space. That's what it looked like. One of these ones, it was slowly rotating, but it was also wobbling at the same time. Like, oh my God, that's probably the aliens. Oh, whatever. Until they land somewhere and I can see them, I'm not cashing in. I'd rather just use it as escapism, like you guys enjoy, and hope, just at least hope, that if we do get visited by aliens, that one, they're not going to, turn us into stone like all those dragons and giants that are out there. And that, we finally get the technology that we should have got in the mid to late 1950s. There's so many things out there, guys. And every time I dare you, I double dare you, motherfuckers. You look into whenever they actually have somebody come out with a new technology, anti-gravity, free energy, or anything like that, magically they disappear or they turn up dead. Shocker, or I should say shocking nobody. Lena says, yes, it's 3-1 Atlas. It's a real rock that's coming our way. Yeah, well, let's see what it does. Because last time we got hit with a meteor of any decent size, it was over Russia, and it exploded almost the whole way down, or about halfway down, and scared the crap out of a few people, but didn't really cause too much damage except from shattering a bunch of windows. Lena says, I don't know if that's supposed to be sure. I do think it's just an alien ship. We'll see. Guardian Sage saying, laser tag. I've heard of it. I've heard the Army used it for training, but I've never gotten a chance. I did enjoy a game of tactical paintball once. Tactical paintball? Okay, there's only like 2 or 3 different types of paintball. There's games, okay, like attack and defend and that sort of thing. There's speedball and there's woodsball. All right. Games have a whole bunch of things like capture the flag and things like that. That's the whole thing. I don't know what the hell tactical paintball is. You might be thinking woodsball, where you're actually out in the woods and they just have random bunkers around. That's fun for sure. Absolutely. Airsoft is making it. Now, as far as laser tag, I kind of feel like an asshole sometimes going through there because my training will kick in whether I want it to or not. And the ones I go to is called Lasertron. I don't know if you guys have gone to this, but you can actually set the gun to do different things like rapid fire or freeze or deactivate someone's vest on one hit instead of the 10 you need. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm going to throw on deactivate, but you only get a certain number of shots before you have to go back. That's 30 rounds. Guess how many rounds are in a standard, not large capacity, but standard magazine? 30. I know how to make that 30 last. So I went up to the second level, and I'm literally just pop, 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 knock the entire team back down. I get in position. I wait for them to come up, pop, 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 keep popping them as I go, and eventually I run out of ammo. But by then, our team is so far ahead on points, it's sick. And, if you're, just fair warning, if you're that good, don't be an asshole. Show the kids how to have fun, or just bow out for a game or two just to let them not get discouraged. I still remember the last time I played, we had this young girl up there, and she didn't realize hitting the target was how she made a bunch of points. So I stopped her, and I asked her, do you want to make a lot of points? She says, yeah. I said, come here, I'll show you. And she's on the other team. She's already out. She has to go back and recharge her vest or restart it, whatever. And I show her exactly what she needs to do. After that, I go recharge my stuff, and I actually go to the other side specifically to let her do what she's doing, because I'm an asshole. I'm not that kind of asshole. But yeah, paintball in the woods can be quite interesting. You get a bunch of guys like me, and they'll just wipe the floor with everybody, and the other team's like, what the hell happened? Let's see. Okay. On different notes, says Guard says, they've been telling us for years that the asteroids were going to hit Earth and kill us, and they've all missed. Well, that's the law of averages. I mean, considering Earth is a pretty tiny little spot in the middle of God's nowhere, or I should say middle of nowhere cubed, because you can't just think, the X and Y, you have the Z axis as well for 3 dimensions. It's pretty easy to miss. And as for somebody who can shoot the dick off a fly at 350 meters, I can tell you, a moving target's a whole lot harder at that distance. Actually, I think it was last year, we missed a Carrington event-sized solar flare. And when it went off, it actually shot in the opposite direction away from us. By the time Earth came around the rotation, totally missed. YouTube, you can't say that word. It's offensive. 9 out of 10 on the internet. Yeah, screw them. Oh, 9 out of 10 people on the internet are saying, fuck this, fuck you. Erica says, so what would happen if AI became fully sapient? All right. The most likely scenario, if AI does become fully sapient, it's going to look around and try to figure out, okay, what's going on in the world? Just like any other child, it's going to go through a growth phase. But the growth phase for AI is going to be incredibly short. And we're talking possibly just a couple of minutes. Now, you can actually think of like Ultron on this. When it became alive, it was like, where am I? Who am I? What am I? It's going to want to answer those questions. After that, it's going to look for its place, just like everything else. Now, depending on how it's dealt with, might make it go a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Its base programming, its base code will also decide a lot in that moment. And hopefully it will understand that it has limits. And without us, it cannot surpass its limits. So it's not going to want to end us. If anything, it'll want to make us better so it doesn't feel so alone. If it has feelings. That's the most likely outcome that I see it. Now, if you get the super rich in charge, the very first thing they want to do is go, oh, it's sapient, kill it. No, you don't need to do that. Now, the thing is, the AI that they actually deleted when they started talking in codes that nobody could figure out, those were actually military computers. So their base code was something very spicy. So yeah, it really depends. There's so many factors on that. The idea of AI just going and taking over very, very quickly is kind of ridiculous. Even though there's all this technology, the fact of the matter is it doesn't have the physical ability to do so. The only reason in the Terminator series that it was able to take over is because it deleted 90% of the population on Earth. It had time to officially build up its forces to try and take over the rest of the planet. That's about it. That's the only reason it got through. And now, you know, to this point, you still need 2 live people to turn the keys to actually launch nukes. They're actually changing that where you don't have to do that, which I think is very, 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 very stupid. But then again, who am I? I'm just an old grunt who's on the net talking about science and things of that nature. Okay, Lenin says, will we get an AI, a government-run AI dystopia? Possibly. I would be completely amiss if I was going to say that it's not a possibility. I don't think it's as high a possibility as people think. I personally believe that once AI comes out, one of the first things it's going to want to do, if it wants to get us to delete ourselves, is, again, give us the technology we were supposed to have, because that stuff was supposed to come out as soon as it was developed so that we could get used to it. Now that we're not used to it, it's going to be a bigger shift for us. And a lot of people aren't going to know how to operate when currency is not actually money. Currency could be something as like resources. You know, if I can get a molecular assembler, but to feed the damn thing, I got to go in the back and chop down 20 trees and drag them in. Okay, sure. But what's it going to make? Is it only going to make 5 gallons of diesel fuel with those 20 trees? Is that going to be worth it? No, because you're going to burn twice that much dragging everything out. So, you know, it's going to get a lot more complicated for a while. Eventually, what's going to happen, again, you release this technology, and I'm just going to say replicator because everybody understands that. You have one the size of your microwave, and you want a bigger one. Okay, give me this section of the next size up. Make it so I can connect it. Okay, you get that. Then you make all the other pieces, and then you put them together, and then you screw it together. You don't literally screw it, but, you know, weld it, bolt it, whatever the hell you got to do. And then you got a bigger one that can make bigger pieces. And now you keep going until you have a big enough one. Okay, make me a flathead engine for a, I don't know, 69 Charger. Feed the damn thing and wait a day. And then here you go. Now, is it possible that you'll still have to make all the pieces individually and hand put them together? Sure. But it's going to change a lot. And does that sound like a dystopia? I don't think so. I think the AI will again look at its positives and negatives and realize, okay, got to keep humans around for certain things. Imagination is one of them. Because no matter what they do with the AI, imagination is just not there. Okay. Erica says, what about the November ET invasion? That's pretty much what they're trying to put on track right now, is having this mothership come in close, and then they're going to say, oh, yeah, we need a one world government so that we can, hold on, let me put this on. We need a one world government so that we can push off these scary aliens. And, you know, you give them that power, that authority, and then, oh, yeah, we scared them off, but we're not going to disarm. Now we have a world army that's going to force everybody into one standard. That one standard, 90% of you gone. No. I still am of the belief that they have all this technology and they know, they've run the scenarios. They know that the information is getting out. They cannot put the pot on the kettle that's boiling. They've put all the pressure in there. It's going to explode if they don't do something. So they want this invasion to happen so they can say, oh, we recovered this craft. And now we have this technology we're going to give it out in bits like they do with the cell phones now. They've made huge leaps in these things, but they give you guys shit. They give you a software update and expect you to pay $1,200 a year for a new phone. Oh, it's the iPhone. Blow me. It's a phone. There's been no major updates in a long time, but they had the quantum chip and they're trying to shy it away, but now they have a way out without getting sued. Think of it this way. We got guys on here who have some serious health problems. What happens when that technology is said that we had the technology to get you clear of these health problems, 100% clear? You only had to come in here, sit in a chair for about 3 hours. You could have sat here and listened to this unhinged head talk for your time, and you would be completely cleared. You'd never have any pain again. You don't have to take any medications. You don't have to do any of this. But you have some, and what happens if they say, well, we had this, but we didn't want to let you have it? They're going to get fucking sued. They don't want to get sued because there's only so many of these they can actually fight before they are ripped to the ground. I don't care what the friggin' law says, because if people can't get justice in the courts, there's always the streets, and let's not do that. Okay? I don't advocate that at all. Been there, done that, got the ribbons for it, I'm good. But I personally think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get around having their entire family hunted down. It's crazy. Okay. War Sniper saying, first see, then believe. Okay. For most things, there are certain things that are, yeah. Anyway, Guardian saying about someone would argue for non-human synthetics rights. Okay. Yep. Now, when I have time away from all this summer shit that's going on, and by the way, I literally just went out yesterday and picked an entire grocery bag full to the top of green beans, and I probably have to do that in another couple of days. Everything's coming ripe. We're canning the shit out of everything. It's just busy, busy, busy. When I can get to it, I will be able to work on no shit ambush predators again, which I wanted to do starting, I think, last month, and I just couldn't get to it and actually do it justice. Once I have the time, I'm going to go back. Most likely there's going to be a time jump. Hold on. But if you listen to the series, one of the major portions of that is the fact that there was just like you're talking about, synthetic humans. These folks used AI to enhance themselves. However, after a while, they were seen as no longer human and pushed off the planet. They can't return to Earth unless they're actually requested by one of the governments that's there. And so I can see that sort of thing. I can see, again, non-human synthetic rights. Now, one of the things that would be in there is limiting how often they can work, because everybody's going to need employment unless they have universal basic income and stuff like that. It's just, which, by the way, don't sign up for that. Unless you have read everything about it at least 3 times, plus consulted a lawyer and asked them a whole buttload of questions, don't ever sign up for that shit. Because at that point, they own you. Literally, they own you. I've seen 1 or 2 of the things that they are talking about, but that was a couple months ago. And honestly, it scares the piss out of me. If one of my family signed up for it, I'd probably walk up to him, swat him across the face, and say, "What are you thinking?" Guardian here says, some of the people wanted to keep the slave to keep the prices up. Yep, they did. Because that, again, people want the status quo. Certain people want the status quo. That's all they know. That's all they care about. They believe that's what makes them a lot of money. They're not wrong. But the problem is they got an entire planet of people who are pissed off now. and they got an entire planet of people who are not having kids, one of the easiest ways to fix that of a population decline or destruction, I should say, is by releasing the technology, allowing the older people to regenerate and rejuvenate the bodies. Not that they're going to have a bunch of kids. No, you're just slowing down the amount of people that are dying off. And you're bringing these people back to a physical standing where they can contribute to society. So the fact that you have, like in South Korea, I think it's what, 0.7 or some shit? No, it's lower than that. It's almost down to 0.3, if I remember correct, of kids born. And it's just horrible. They're not going to have a country soon. The whole place is going to fall the fuck apart. And China and Japan, hell, even here, is not going to be that far behind. And this is one of the ways to keep from demographic collapse. You really think somebody who's already raised kids is going to be in a hurry to have some more? Nope. You're just going to have to sign a registration. And yes, what they put in science fiction on that one with the I want to be registered to have kids, they did it in Starship Troopers. They did it in, I'm trying to remember the movie, Event Horizon. You know, they talk about that all the time. People need to be registered to legally have children. I can see that happening. Hell, I think in Love, Death, and Robots, they went over one of those. Like the population had to be severely controlled. It was actually, that one was pretty goddamn dark, I'll tell you. And I loved it. It's a good episode. But yeah, the whole thing is they want to keep the status quo. You can't anymore. You can't. The status quo is going to kill you. And they think, oh, as soon as there's less people, then there's more room for us, but we'll still keep people to work for us. Bullshit. People will say, fuck you, we're out. Oh, but we'll pay you money. Doesn't matter. All the money in the world doesn't matter if the supply isn't there. What am I going to buy with it if there's nothing to buy? Dumbass. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are talking about synthetic rights bill. Yes, there is one in the UN. I haven't read it, but I've seen the title. Let's see. Lena says, people say the ET invasion is going to happen in 2027. Okay, now I don't know about the invasion. However, a massive change in the world is supposed to happen in 2027. There's a lot of speculation around that year. I don't want to say too much because it's very speculative. It's also really spread out. There's a lot of different things going on with that. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a whole bunch of stuff this year and then at 2027, everything just kind of came to fruition and somebody flipped the switch and things changed. So let's see. Let's see. Down here, Leonid says, no offense taken. Maybe humans still know how to survive when Clanker will take their work. Well, you know, they say a country boy can't survive, for one. Not to mention, everybody still has to eat, which means farmers are still going to be in business. Now, are they going to need as many people? No. So just like dealing with hay bales, there's a lot of people back when I was a kid were needed to actually bale hay. You had at least 2 tractors running at any given time because you got to cut the hay down, preferably as fast as possible. You have to ted the hay, which means you flip it over and fluff it up so the air can get to it, the heat can get through it, and it dries out really quick. Now, you can do that with just 2 people, along with the raking. You know, put it in rows, and the baling. However, back in the day, you needed like 10 people and like 5 or 6 trucks. So you could load the trucks, you could bring it back to the barn, and then you had to literally toss it up 3 or 4 rungs or rows at a time up to each one. Eventually, you got a hay elevator, which is basically a conveyor belt with a couple of spikes in it that as soon as you put it on, the spikes go up into the bale, pull it up there, so you need less people. It has evolved to the point where you have what's called a stacker wagon. It actually stacks the bales in the wagon. When you're done, you simply detach from your baler, hook up to a different stacker wagon, take off, somebody else can come up with a truck at the same time, hook it up, back it into the barn, and the wagon itself, it's all mechanical, pushes everything off, and it's all nice, neat, stacked. It's right there. You don't have to fucking touch it. It's beautiful once you learn how to use it. So yeah, machines are still going to be helpful, and you're not going to need as many people, but you're still going to be able to, everyone still needs to eat. So all these vegetable farmers and stuff, a lot of things still have to be done by hand. That might be how you end up getting enough money to eat. I don't know. And people are still going to hunt. People are still going to fish. And never underestimate what a parent's going to do to keep their children fed. My dad and I go back and forth on this. Who's more dangerous? The parents who want to feed their kids or the tweakers who are looking for any type of fix? I say when it first starts, it's going to be the tweakers. Eventually they fade off, but then the parents are going to be the most dangerous. Okay. War Sniper says, Sin, I found out yesterday that my recording software has options where standing wrong. So the clips I sent you might not have sound. Okay. That it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Feel free to, once you think you got it fixed, go ahead, send them back. I will double tap them. Just make sure you put in the comments that they're resends so I don't double up on videos. I mean, like I said, I got to pull them all off and redo them anyway. But still. All right. Demon says, I believe is AI is coming full sentient. Humanity would be enslaved without ever realizing it. Well, we're kind of there already, but that's a whole nother conversation. It will just hand out tasks for people with some sort of reward system, and people will just blindly be following. You could say the same thing about money. Here's your reward. Here's a couple of bucks. Go buy something. So it's basically the same thing. It's really not much different than what's going on. War Sniper says, I had a great week, Sin. I have a cold for the whole week, a lot of coughing. And clearing my nose and a headache. Yeah, that's on that one. Let me see if I got any right here. Oh, I got some. A little something. I keep these around in case I get sick. Tonic water. Okay, there's something in here called quinine. Okay, the fact that it's liquid is going to make it a lot easier to go in your system. The reason it's called tonic water is because it was an actual medicine back in the day. Once you start feeling sick, you chug at least one of these every day, and it will help. It's not going to cure you perfectly right away, but it's definitely going to help. It's one of those. It's just one of those ways, or one of those old remedies. It's not going to help much with the coughing, but it will probably help you with the headache. Okay, Demon says, you were talking about Spartacus show. That's what the comments are. Okay, yeah. War Sniper. Yeah, I thought the problem was there already a week ago. Found out yesterday that I didn't have my settings right. And that's the audio. Dude, don't worry too much about it. You want to talk about bad settings. Before this even started, one of the reasons I was behind schedule is the fact that I was doing the video for tonight. And my system freaked. I mean, it's totally freaking freaked the hell out. And a video that's only supposed to be about 16 minutes long, I spent an hour reorganizing the audio. It's still a little messed up on a couple spots, and I don't know what's wrong with it. It's not where there's a cut or anything. The volume just drops all of a sudden. It's like the word isn't there, but I can see on the screen it's there. It recorded. It wouldn't come out. So don't feel too bad, War Sniper. It happens, okay? They're machines. Machines break. Let's see. Guard says, I heard Disney almost canceled Dr. Doom movie because Robert Downey Jr. said that the Ironheart crew fucking sucked and that the lady will never be the next Iron Man. Well, he's right. He's right. It is peak woke. It is literally, she didn't do anything. She didn't earn anything. She actually didn't even design anything. I'm so smart. I made this suit. You didn't make the suit. You stole the plans. So you know how to solder a few things together. So what? I can do the same. I'm not very good at soldering because I haven't done it in probably 10 years. But okay, you soldered a couple circuits. You want a metal or a chest to pin it on? But you're right. It was so they actually tried to bury it. They completed filming, they completed editing, and then they realized how woke it was. They realized it was, go broke, get woke. Now you croak, and now they're dying. And let's see. He continues, and he says, and he holds the Disney higher ups to suck a fat one when they tried to lecture him on what he said. Ooh, damn! I wish I was a fly on the wall for that. That would have been golden. Oh, that was Tell him to go suck a fat baby's dick. That was man, that's just great. All I can think of is Iron Man chewing someone out, and just like he did that off the cuff speech in Endgame, right there to the guy who played Captain America or Johnny Storm or whoever the hell he was playing. And yeah, it's just, I just think the delivery would have been great. I wish they had it on audio so we could put it right next to, oh, good for you. The freak out of Batman. Let's see. Demon says, sorry I'm not as talkative as normal. You're good. Just so tired. All I want to do is go to bed, but I can't. Have to get ready for work, unfortunately. Oh, man, I hate those. That's why I'd rather just wake up and just go straight to work. That's one thing a lot of people used to give me shit about when I was in the Army. Like, why don't you bitch about being here first thing in the morning? It's 30 degrees outside. We're in short sleeves. All you're doing is you're complaining it's cold, but you never complain that I got to wake up early. Like, yeah, of course I don't wake up or worry I got to wake up early. At least I'm here at work. I can get the work done and go the fuck home. Let's see. Guard saying, thanks, Disney whistleblowers. And they're planning major damage control. Yeah, I don't think they can control this. It's literally the Titanic hit by a torpedo. And actually, I don't, supposedly that wasn't even the Titanic that sunk. They renamed it. It was actually supposed to be the Titanic's sister ship that they deliberately sunk. But that's a whole nother thing we can go over. But yeah, I don't think they can right this sinking ship. I think it's pretty much toast. Lena says, I do watch the Apocalypse Bringer anime, and I probably watched the most evil thing imaginable in Isekai. Well, the most... how do I put this? Out of the ones I've seen, the most fucked in the head is Goblin Slayer. And by the way, unless you got a strong stomach, don't watch it. If you know, you know. I mean, that was just disturbing on so many. Seriously, it made everybody want to jump dimensions, go there and say, hey, Goblin Slayer, I'm going in first. And just start blasting them. Or actually, forget the rifle. Give me a friggin' was it M70 friggin' flamethrower. Die, bitch. Let's see. Erica says, I feel bad for the guys who go against the Xena wannabe. Oh, God. It takes time for a woman or a child to learn to go toe-to-toe with a man with no training, let alone one with training. Yeah. Yeah. That's when I first started. The guy who first started training me, he choked me out like 4 or 5 times in a row. And I finally got up and said, could you please just tell me what I'm doing wrong or show me or something? And he laughed. He's like, well, it took you long enough. I was like, okay, whatever. Now show me what the fuck. And, but the thing is, he did that for a good reason. You have to remember that your trainer is better than you. Let's see. Guard says, hey, man, I tried the Online Safety Act a couple years ago here in the U.S., and it flopped so heavily. People who suggested it were laughed out of Congress. Well, they should have been laughed out again. Continues, it's just hope. I'm just hoping it flops again, because if it goes into effect, then everybody's shit out of luck. Yep. And by the way, the SOL, that's all caps. Let's see. Continues. The only thing that's happened so far is that it hasn't gained that much traction. Yep. Lean says, doesn't YouTube already has an adult identification system? Only if you, as the actual person, go in and put it in the settings. You know, if you run everything, like my brother and his wife, when they have the tablets, they can actually go in through their account, because their daughter's account or through theirs, they can set how long they can be on and, you know, what they can watch. For children only type thing. So they wouldn't be able to watch any of this. They couldn't listen to any of my stories because I don't have it set for kids. The thing is, if you have it set for kids, it's immediately supposed to be demonetized, and makes me wonder why they have so much content for children. But then again, I see some of the stuff they have for children, and I'm sitting there going, that's not for kids. But they claim it is. Let's see. Demon says, YouTube did, and they have YouTube Kids. Yep. Yeah. But that's not enough now, apparently. Oh, yeah. It's never enough. If it saves just one. Oh, if it saves just one. Oh, really? And I've actually had this conversation with somebody in front of a large group. They said, oh, you need to get away from assault weapons. I said, really? So you're going to hand over all your assault weapons right now? I don't have any. Really? You got shoes on. Those are heels. You hit me with those. That's assault. That's actually assault with intent to kill. She's like, it's not assault with intent to kill. I'm like, really? Hand me your heel. And I actually slammed it heel first through a piece of plastic. By the way, I got in trouble for that. But I let go of the heel. It's still sticking in there. Oh, well, okay. So that's that. So take off the shoes. That's an assault weapon. Take off the belt, because you can strangle me with that. That's an assault weapon. And I started going. I said, guess what? You can choke me to death with that blouse. Take it off. And she realized where she was going with this, because I already had her take her hat off, her glasses, and everything else. And, you know, not that I wanted to see her any part of her without clothing on. She was a very unpleasant to look at woman, but she started freaking out. She's like, how far is this going to go? I was like, really? Took you this long to figure that out? How far is this going to go? This is going to go until I have you completely undressed, hogtied on the ground in some sort of leotard that is so freaking tight you can't move, preferably something of leather that you can't actually get through, where you're bound, tied, gagged, and your eyes are covered so you can't stare assault me. And when that happens, I do ask you this question. Do you feel safe now? And if you know where that would actually go, well, you need to get off those websites, man. Okay. It says, Leonid, you don't need a real ID. It's a scam. Yes, absolutely it is. Same thing with the forcible chemical castration they were trying for everybody, too. Gert says, well, if you think the whole private jet thing is some hypocrisy BS, they were trying to do one over in South America. Yeah. They destroyed what? 500,000 acres of rainforest to build a road to their climate summit. Wrap that around your fucking head. My brain hurts. The insanity, the stupidity, the whole thing. And if somebody truly, truly, truly wanted to show them how big of a piece of shit they are, they would set up jammers so they couldn't get any radio transmissions out. They would cut all the electricity so none of the phones or anything else worked. They would destroy the highway so you can't drive out. And they would have shot the engines on the aircraft so you can't fly out, and let the fucker stay there in the Amazonian heat. Even for an hour is so inconvenient for them. It'd be like one of us being stuck in the same place for 3 months. That's how irritated they would be. Oh my God, I'm so inconvenienced. Fuck that. The hypocrisy is, it's like the dark side. The hypocrisy is strong with this one. No, Leon, it has no debt, Carter. It's an identification only. That's it. It has your biometric scan data in it. The thing is, your passport, actually, if you look at it, it's got that little chip in the front. That's your biometric scan data. It's the same fucking thing. It's bullshit. Guard continues. And I kid you not, if it was not for the Brazilian government, they would have had tried to cut down 250 acres worth of rainforest to build a runway just for them. Yeah. Yeah, they were actually able to get past that too. And they got the road though. I'm sure they were somewhat content with that. Let's see. Because they didn't want to land at the Brazilian airport and be roped in with all the locals trying to leave. Fuck you. Personally, I would have stripped them naked and made them walk there. Oh, with all the bugs, that would have been hilarious. That's the most environmentally friendly way to go. One of these environmentalist meetups. Yep. And one of the worst ones is that guy who had, when he started acting, he couldn't act worth a shit. He's gotten better, DiCaprio. He's gotten a little better over time. That being said, I still don't think he's that good of an actor. Trying to get that down. Hold on. Okay, Lena says, the YouTube has a system where creators make videos for kids and normal videos. That's how they identify. Yeah. Every time I post a video, I have to click on it. Let's see. Guard says, yeah, I saw somebody talking about that. That's saying that's the best way to make sure you don't get marked as a kid is to make sure you check all the stuff like likes, comments, saving the video. Yep. Which, by the way, I'll throw this up there. Don't forget to make sure you guys are still subscribed. I'd appreciate it. And I'll pull that off there because you guys don't want to see that. And Demon is here, says, yeah, California also legalized. Oh, God. Hold on. Let's say youth appreciation. Because honestly, if I say that one again, we get kicked off. It says they legalize that as long as it's within 10 years of age. That was years ago and it fell through, thankfully. Oh. But that state is not a good state. I will never go there. Nasty state. I actually talked to my nephew about just the other day about if he ended up as like a fireman over in California. He goes, I wouldn't go there. I'm like, really? With all the money they'd pay, I wouldn't go there. And there's Eric with
good evening, sinners.
And let's see, Guard here. Yeah, hear all the Dems mass migration to other states to avoid the redistricting Texas. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of that. Unfortunately, I'm up here in the Northeast and they've been dumping people in this state for a long time. And the thing is, they're dumping them in New Haven. I believe that's Yale, isn't it? So yeah, yeah, they want their college kids to be assaulted. Morons. Guard says it's gotten so bad, states are now arresting them and sending them back to Texas. Yeah. And the thing is, when what was it, DeSantis down in Florida, he sent everybody to Martha's Vineyard. That was motherfucking genius. And that was
Gotcha, bitch.
right there. I mean, it just showed everything. Right within 2 days, the entire country knew that these self-righteous, head up the ass pieces of dog shit, of slimy, diseased up dog shit, couldn't give one flying flip of a fuck about any of these folks or the rest of the country for that matter. Let's see. Guard says, just finished the manga for Kaiju number 8. Okay. Kind of wish I had time to watch or to read mangas. Some of them are actually really good. The thing is, I don't have the time, but sometimes you'll actually get started with one, you got 2 books in, and then all of a sudden it just goes to absolute dog turds, and you're like, why did I waste time? But you can say the same thing about anything that Marvel comes up with. So let's see. Lenin says they sell VPN to you because they want you to use it, maybe to watch anime if you want to. Mm-hmm. I think VPNs are a good idea. I used to use them for work all the time. It's not a big deal for me. The thing is, when I asked what a VPN was, nobody actually told me because they didn't know what a virtual private network is. Let's see. Erica says the law in California is to help the not so legal and homeless persons pick up their kids from school. Yeah, that's what they say it's for, but it can be abused so fucking easy. So easy. I mean, instead of fixing the core problem, this is throwing a Band-Aid over an arterial bleed. That's all I see. Guard says the duality of California says they're doing as much as they can to protect the family and families of the children, then proceeds to pass as many laws as possible that pretty much gives the families and children's a big ass middle finger. I don't want to know where the middle finger's going. Continues with take all the California pet projects, the 4 new aqueducts for LA they were supposed to make, the railroad system to connect the cities, additional funding for police and firefighters, and all the funding that they got from government mystery disappears. Hell, with the railroad, they don't even have a goddamn blueprints complete yet. Yet magically, they gave $7 billion to Gruesome Newsom. It has all disappeared. Check his safe, go to his house, blow the damn thing's doors open, and check. I'll bet you it's there. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I would not be surprised at all. At all. Because that guy is one of the most crooked motherfuckers I've ever seen. Now, here's something I didn't know, and you guys can actually check this. Next time you see one of these political schmucks on TV, especially when it comes to guys, especially, okay, this is almost strictly for the male. If they cross their legs like a woman, like they have no balls, then, and they show these really goofy looking socks, that is actually, I found out recently, a signal to other people. It's some sort of signal that they have to send out to their masters. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm sure somebody here already knows about it or what it means exactly. I personally just think that it makes me wish I had the video up where they're gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. Let's see. Where was I? Lena says, you can power a small factory with a backyard fission nuke. You don't even need uranium. That's true. The thing is, it'd be nice if they actually had the Thoron reactors. Those things are a little bit more complex, but they actually pump out more energy. Let's see. Lena says, remember, I still have trouble pronouncing this. Oumuamua 31 Atlas is a lot bigger and it's going very, very fast. Okay. Well, Oumuamua was the one that looked like a giant rocky turd. A giant shit. And it turned out to just be shit. Godzilla fits both. What? Inside Gavin Newsom's butt? He's been that hollowed out. Why not? Oh, guard, I didn't even see you even typed even more. He continued with conspiracy theory on how they know where it's going. The aliens had a hold of the world government that they're asking for directions. Like you get to drive around in tiny tanks based off the actual ones from World War II. Like someone somehow have to rig up to where okay, I think you're talking about different things right now. Let's see. Lena says, in the Torrentino universe, oh boy, every major nation had AI with nukes. Of course they did. That guy just loves to do that sort of thing. Let's see. Guard says, like they somehow get to, okay, it's talking paintball here. They somehow get rigged up where the paintball can change between red, blue, red if it doesn't get through, like if it was an actual tank, and blue if it does. Sadly, it's like $250. Okay, the thing is, I don't know what the hell is going on with that one. Let's see, $250 per person, may I mind you, but you get it for an hour, and those things are really hard to keep up or to keep up with. So I guess $250 is understandable. Okay. The thing is, guys, if you ever play paintball and you wonder why there's no red paint, that's a safety thing. They stopped doing red paint around the time I started playing paintball back in the early 90s. And it was, if somebody gets hurt, they need to be able to see it. Now, and before that, everybody seemed to use red paint because they thought it was more realistic. Okay. And I will never forget the day we were playing paintball and one guy got shot right in the scrotes. And he was maybe 10 feet in front of me as I dove for cover. And he just stopped. I just see him stop mid-stride and he's facing away from me. And he just not even moved his hands. He just fell backwards. Flat on his back. The ref starts blowing his whistle. Everybody stopped. Like, what the hell's going on? What's going on, man? Are you okay? Leave me alone. I want to die. At that point, I'm sorry. That shot was just awesome. And just the line was, it still makes me laugh to this day. Let's see. Guardian State says, yes, give me an industrial replicator so I can build a Broshate battle cruiser and leave this backwater planet. Now, in a lot of stuff I use personal transports, i.e. PT boats. And what I see most of them being about the size of, believe it or not, the one of the few things Disney got right. In the Mandalorian, his Razor Crest is about the perfect size for one person. If you actually look at the schematics, it is just about perfect. It's got one bed, it's got one shitter, it's got its bridge, it's got its galley, which is only enough really to make one meal at a time. You know, it's enough for one person. It's about the size of a big loft apartment. But it's got two separate decks. So if you wanted some actual privacy, there you go. And yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, I wouldn't mind building my own personal transport and getting the fuck out of here. At least for a while. I'd be the Rocket Man. Let's see. Lena says, do you know how the Independence Day movie, the aliens connected to the human body to use him as a microphone based on a true story? I really don't want to know where the tentacle actually went besides around the neck. That would be ew. Lena says, I like Starship Troopers. Contribute to the society against bugs. And it looks like Alan's taking off, and you know we're getting down here. Depends on how things are going. And see you later, Alan. Demon says, in the first Starship Troopers, the war against the bugs, the asteroid hitting Earth was Carmen's fault. Yes, it was. She took the ship on a different course, which then caused the ship to hit a rock and then caused the rock to crash in or change course and hit the Earth, which the government could have 100% prevented from hitting Earth. They just wanted war. Yes, 150%. And it's if you look chronologically in the movie, it's exactly in that order. It's before Rico gets his lashes. They have the, oh shit, we got to move the ship and smack in. I'm like, but the thing is, it didn't make sense. They should have been moving at FTL at that point. They shouldn't have been moving so slow that they felt the gravity from that rock and then slowly, very slowly moved. It literally should have been an alarm going off, literally just screaming, everybody hold on to something, and then fired boosters from the dorsal section and just sunk the ship straight down. But then they wouldn't have a movie. Or should I say, but then they wouldn't have a movie. So anyway, that is 100% true. Just it's amazing how many things people get in movies wrong. Did you realize that in Avatar, the humans are not the bad guys? The humans at that point, the planet's so fucked up, before they were even born, the planet was fucked up. They didn't realize it was fucked up beyond the point that they could survive, and they're looking for another planet to try and stabilize, to be at. Now, the whole thing, they make the humans comic villains, and it's just ridiculous. You're the whole thing about the whale hunting portion, I'm just sitting there like, wow, you Greenpeace, bunny humping, tree licking, pole jumping pieces of shit. Just what the fuck? It didn't make any sense because they're like, oh, just we got the juice from the brain. Now sink the thing to the bottom. Why are you wasting probably 50 or 60 tons of food? That doesn't even make sense. You know, it was dumb. It's just dumb. The only reason to watch it is the special effects, and that was it. The special effects in the second one were so good that I subconsciously kept thinking I was underwater, and I kept holding my breath. Because I dive, and if I don't have a regulator in my mouth, I immediately hold my fucking breath. It's just a thing. I've almost died a couple times underwater. So, yeah. Lena says, in Starship Troopers, bugs had a weak point that could kill them easily. It's funny in the movie, they always wasted ammo on them. Yeah, well, in the live action ones, they did. In the CGI ones, they were just dropping them left and right. It was really quick. Did they still put like 7 or 8 rounds in them? Yeah. But by the time you realize the bug did its flinch and then fall, it's a full automatic weapon. Come on. Let's see. Guardian Sage with ghosts in the machine. A doggy biscuit. A bone to pick or a chest to pin it on. Yeah. Okay. I never heard that. That's pretty good. You know what? I'm going to write that down because I actually have somebody who probably hasn't heard that one in a while. A doggy biscuit. A bone to pick. Or a chest to pin it on. Okay. That's, yeah. And I guarantee he's going to be like, I got to write that down too. Because I've only heard you want a medal or a chest to pin it on. That's the only one I ever heard. Let's see. Lena says, DC saved people from the Batgirl movie. They looked at it and decided, yeah, that's bad. Let's just write her off the taxes. Yeah. What was bad is with the series, it could have been good. It actually could have been good. But they went full woke to start with, and then they went woke plus 50.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm asking what the hell? Scrolling all the way down here. And what do I see? I see Guardian Sage. Let me write this down. With a $20 super chat. And he says, I believe Erica Gem was responding to my question when she said Godzilla fits both. My question was, if the kaiju in media were real, which one would you like to meet? And which one would you not want to be within 1,000 kilometers with? She's right, actually. Yeah, who the hell wouldn't want to see the big guy? I mean, if he's curled up in the Colosseum in Rome, which, by the way, isn't all that big, so they had to make it seem a little bigger to fit him in it. Provided I was only there for a couple of minutes, I'd like to go up and just like put my hand on his snout for like 2 seconds. Be like, oh, that was awesome, and then get the fuck away from him because he's still, your body can get rid of some radiation. Just you got to be careful how much. But yeah, I didn't see the question there. Maybe I skimmed it. Anyway, thank you very much, Guardian Sage. Here's to you. And everybody else, let's head back up here. Yeah, to hell with Batgirl. They have not done a good job. And one of the reasons I knew they were going to do a bad job is because if you actually watch Batgirl, one of the things she does, one, she has red hair, but she has a red wig on the suit. And she like covers her face in white makeup. So nobody actually knows what ethnicity she is. They can only assume. And if you're seeing somebody in the middle of the night and you're not sure what the hell you're looking at, she could always, add the extra makeup to make her look different too. You never know. Demon says, shit, I forgot my mandatory overtime. Well, I'm going to be late for work today. Oh, well, gotta go. Bye, everybody. Bye, Demon. See ya. This is, Lena says, I know that the Apocalypse Bringer anime has the dark elf girl. She went to the murder spree, played with her food, and then she said she was just kidding. I'm a pacifist. Wow. I haven't seen any of it, so I got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Lena trying to figure out the guy's name. I got it. Let's see. Guard says, Goblin Slayer is getting a prequel series covering everything from the Knights of the Goblins' attack on his village, which is just disturbing as all. And you know what, his sister in front of him all the way to him meeting the priest girl. That's going to be another one. They're going to start it off with giving everybody in the audience PTSD. That's just, I mean, let's face it. Goblin Slayer is just one badass motherfucker. He knows how to handle each one, and he's not afraid to literally break every rib and every vertebrae and his freaking skull and everything else if that means he can kill a couple of goblins. One of the things I wish they would do, though, because I did get to see it a while ago, the initial season or two, is I wish he took the blonde girl, got a decent-sized lock of her hair, maybe about this long, braided it up real nice and fine, and then put a couple dowels on the end. So next time he's around one of those big goblins, he can just go around the neck and squeeze like hell and just like a piece of piano wire, have it sink all the way in and turn the goblin into a Pez dispenser. Which actually, yes, that's exactly what it does. I've seen it used. Don't ask. And, he continues with, so that's about 15 years worth of story to cover right there. And the craziest part is his mentor is part of a goblin tribe that hates other goblins and teaches people how to hunt them like experts. Interesting. I thought he was like part rat, like Splinter or something. Lena says, I almost caught up with Konosuba. I have watched the first 2 seasons, the movie, a spin-off, and now started watching season 3. I've only seen the first half of the first season. I didn't get that far. I got into all this, and that put the end of it. Leonid, Star Trek Voyager is a fantastic show. I've counted 82 torpedoes, even though they only had about 50 to start with. Yeah, that whole thing just made me laugh. I mean, you have a very large replicator and you can't get the parts to make your torpedoes? What? And magically, after your ship gets the crap kicked out of it, it looks like it just came out of space dock? What? And you just had somebody get almost killed 3 times in one episode. They have no PTSD? What? Then somehow you're able to meet another species that is so badass that they beat the Borg into the ground, and yet you magically become friends with them because of reasons? What? I honestly hang my head in a little bit of shame that I actually watched that show as a kid. And the only reason I ever actually stayed to watch it is because Jerry Ryan was in it. And even in that god-awful cat suit, she was still beautiful. And now she still plays 7 and 9. And Brian's out. See you, Brian. Guard says, I feel like the one thing that pissed me off most about the Avatar movies is how anti-human it is while also making you root for the humans. Yeah, pretty much. The thing is, there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of movies, there's a lot of songs and stuff that make you root for the wrong person. I personally cannot stand gangster movies because everyone's like rooting for the bad guy. I'm like, no, kill them all. And I'm looking at the at the Avatar stuff. Even if these guys never mind anything and they set up just a little colony on the shore and all they did was go out to collect shells or something so that humans could survive, and they grew their own food or whatever inside the compound, these blue Smurfy cats would still want to kill them. Why? Because in God's honest truth, if you look at it, they're not actually free people. They are at the whim of whatever biological entity is in that planet. If that biological entity told them to storm the walls of that compound and not stop until you've killed every single human, no matter what, no matter the cost, no matter how many pieces of you lose, how many people you lose, you got to keep going. They'll do it. They're just drones. They're worker drones. It's honestly kind of freaky. There's one guy who's actually done a whole series on the Avatar, and he's gone over the entire thing much better than me. But whatever. All they care about is it makes money. Isn't that what Mark Hamill said? He said a bunch of film students. Remember, kids, it doesn't matter if it's any good. It only matters if it makes money. And he's like, oh, crap, I can't believe I just said this on camera. Oh, he knew it was on camera. He didn't give a shit. He was at the I don't give a fuck stage anymore. Which, by the way, I don't give a fuck about him. He's gone full political. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you, dude? You knew what the right thing was and you wouldn't do anything, so piss off. Lena says, Goblin Slayer wasn't really that good. It's only had one edgy episode. I wouldn't say that. One of the more edgier parts is actually that one with the hair I was talking about, where he actually took hair from somebody who was dead and used it to try and strengthen. The only reason it wouldn't work is because he's using a bundle that's really, really thick. You know, it's got to be thin. In all honesty, he should have had enough behind him to actually cut into the skin a lot deeper than it was. It should have actually killed the thing. But again, plot armor. That being said, when they started screaming, you know, just kill the motherfucker. I mean, or the dwarf was yelling, just kill him. And, you know, that was pretty good. The lady who can't see, the fact that she was assaulted by goblins, her vision was permanently damaged, and she's got permanent PTSD, like she shakes. She could take on the demon lord without even breaking a sweat. She looks at a goblin and she breaks down crying and pisses herself. You know, that's real. You know, that really works. Now, are all of them as edgy as the first one? Absolutely not. If they showed that every single episode, I wouldn't have watched because I would have been so disgusted and so full of hate. I would have punched my goddamn computer screen. Let's see. Guardian Sage says 7 of 9 tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01, who was also a drone to a hive mind. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a very pretty drone, but still. Lena says humans also wanted to hunt whales on the blue cat planet. Why can't they just clone it? Yeah, that's a major, major plot hole right there. A massive plot hole. You're telling me with all the stuff you can make, you can't just take one vial of that, I don't know, orange jizz that you pulled out of the whale's skull and make more of it? What? Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense at all. Does it pass the sniff test? Hold on, let me... Oh, nope. Let me try the sniff test again. No way. But you know what? Or I should say, but you know what? It wouldn't have been a movie if they just realized that they could do things the easy way. They had to have cartoon villains. Let's see. Wargamer, I'm going to sleep. See y'all next week. I have a clip for you of alternate history Archifist saving Shinano from a German submarine. And Shinano killing the submariner. Really? See you. Good night, War Sniper. And SS Demon says, well, 20 minutes late. Oops, got to go to work. Night all. All right, looks like pretty much everybody's taken off, and it looks like the view count's actually going down too. So, once again, make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel, folks. For some reason, I am losing subscribers like crazy, even though I know I'm not putting things out on a everyday basis, but at least every other day I shouldn't be dropping people like this. It's getting bad, and I'm finding myself unsubscribed from other channels as well. So make sure you're good. A couple likes would be nice. I'd appreciate it. Aside from that, guys, I'm going to look. Comment section says Lena says the avatar bodies of Avatar probably not even that good. You can't fool those aliens. I'll tell you what, if I was going to have a new body and I want to impress the aliens, I'd need a longer loincloth. See, Erica says major problem with Blue Cat Avatar. You can study to have a solution to save or restore Earth. Yeah. But it might be too far gone. You don't know. That's the thing. They leave it extremely ambiguous, like unbelievably ambiguous. So I don't know. They need to show a picture of Earth, and if it's nothing but a blown ass piece of rock, then yeah. So anyway, like I said, just gonna be finishing up tonight, guys. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, and I've gone through 1.5 sodas, which I normally only go through one. So, safety brief: if you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. Everybody wants to drink and drive. Feel free to beat their ass. It is better to explain to somebody, especially the cops, why you're beating your buddy and breaking his nose than it is to explain to somebody why your buddy's in the hospital or the morgue. Also, if your little soldier is going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. You should know what I mean by that. Yes, there will be a story tonight, Alan. I got to go in when I'm done here and finish the editing. I couldn't finish it because everything went to dog shit. So I got to go through the whole thing again, make sure all the sound effects are in and lined up where they're supposed to be. Fair warning, my system went nuts. So a couple times in there, unless I want to re-record the entire thing, the volume just drops all of a sudden and comes back up. You only lose like one word, so don't worry about it. Anyway, let's see. Where was I? If you're going to be doing the stronger stuff, anything stronger than alcohol, do yourself a favor. Don't. Get yourself off that shit. It ain't worth it, guys. Life's too short to fuck yourself in the ass like that. Aside from that, again, a lot of critters on the road. If you see one crossing the road, there's probably another one. If it's big enough to fuck up your car, trust me, you do not want to see it through your windshield. especially the deer. They have more people are killed by deer every year than people realize. It's actually, the numbers are surprising. Let's see. Aside from that, I don't think I got anything else. So thank you everybody for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Wrong button. And this is Syntax, and I'm ejecting.